What's going on, everybody? I'm CaptainRoBear, and this is Game of Saving Throws number 96. We made it here.
I'm still soaking in everything that happened last week. I haven't gotten over being that dead yet.
Yeah, did we really make it? Like, what if this is just an illusion of Kiki, the only survivor?
I'm confident that Yancy Ben tried to my setup. I shook sand out of it. It was some X-Files style shit that went down.
I would like to explore the possibility that this is all just a fever dream now in Kiki's mind, and she's somewhere in a straitjacket.
Probably, yes. She's actually the little controlled pet monkey.
Isn't she the new air god after this? I mean, it's now her domain.
By straitjacket, you mean suspended in a barrel of coconut cream pie.
Yeah. I'm gonna need her to spin a top just to confirm that this is reality.
Oh, nice Inception callback, sir.
We might have plenty of time to do that, because there is some unboxing of unboxing that was just the sheer exhaustion of the end of our session last week.
Yeah.
Commented several times that there was no celebration, there was no closure, there was only
Yes. But after a war like that, is there actual celebration or is it just relief?
This case was.
Like, we just survived and that's it.
A little bit of both, I think. A little bit of both.
Sometimes survival is all the celebration you need.
Yeah.
True.
We don't have the energy for survival. I need a nap.
Really didn't.
Yeah. I'm still exhausted from last week's episode.
Yeah.
As always, we want to thank our sponsors over here, Voodoo Ranger, DnDBeyond.com, Roll20. Thank you all very, very much for your generous sponsorship and your delicious beverages that have powered the end of my day. Thank you.
And the beginning, chat. And the beginning.
I'll say that right now.
Someone in chat asked me that how I solved my problems with Voodoo Ranger when we were working on the rig, and I said that it is nothing but cold turkey until the problem is solved. Some sort of odd self-deprivation that I have where I'm like, I can't do anything until the ship has been right, and then I can be like, yes, then it is delicious. It is the Zen zone, and it's time to have. I cannot use the Voodoo Ranger in any other situation. It is only celebratory.
They said I couldn't have a drink until I solved the problem. Well, that thing was done in about 60 seconds.
It's the right motivation.
It is true, the last day of beer school at Anheuser-Busch, you don't get to start drinking until you and your partner finish building the kegerator of which you can pour your beer.
The kegerator.
It is pretty awesome. Let me tell you what, there are some records going down from some old boys putting together beer boxes from scratch. You don't want to be the last one lagging there, while everyone else is then sitting back and watching you like some sort of odd garage, like car project.
Oh, sure, you want to put that bushing right there? I mean, you're not going to get a proper seal on that wall.
Oh, dude, I've never felt so bad for somebody in your life. That is worse than being picked last in dodgeball right there. Ugh, I don't wish that on any future beer person. We have to pick up where we left off, and we are picking up in the middle of Phil. We find our heroes at the end, barely surviving the grips of Yancy Ben's final form. Suspended upon clouds after wave of sand, lightning, and fury, dropping everyone except for Kiki. The only thing that she knew, the light of her eyes, Valas, in her time of need, using her potion of heroism to bring back Valas one more time. Proved to be the right recipe as Valas swung into endless waves of sand as he piloted his own personal ship one last time, outlasting everything that Yancy Bin could throw at him before there was no more. Reviving the rest of the party piece by piece, starting with Cheekios. They all live. And Yancy Bin, Sansuri, and the great threat to the world, the ordinary, is finally over. We pick back up with all of our heroes making their way down those steps of clouds, looking out onto the battlefield that is now strewn apart with the sacrifices that it took to get here. Truly, in a moment of reflection, not yet mourning, but gratitude to be alive, and what they hope is a better world. Pick up there.
You know, Cheekios, I've survived a lot of battles. Never seen a battlefield quite like this.
I hope we never see one like this again. For all of our sakes.
Well, that's hopeful, isn't it?
We'll be sure, look at what we've done since leaving Nightstone. A lot of death.
It's a lot of sacrifice.
You only hope that it's for a better purpose.
Depends what purpose you like.
We've upset a lot of balances.
Well,
We've also put a lot of things right.
A little more fun anyway. What is balance? The world was never made for balance. Everybody likes to have the control, and when they lose the control, that's when we get this.
But Ruby, they have the right to be able to make that choice. In a world with Yancy Bin, I fear that they did not. So this is their day. This is the Giants' day. This is our day. And maybe all of those that we have seen in between that aren't there to enjoy this, may their children have this day.
Or at least whoever's alive. May they have a drink. On Histor, I don't have enough money to pay for everyone.
You still trying to steal from me, Cat?
You know, you act like everybody's dead. You might as well just take on the role, right?
Ruby Shore, for being alive alone, that's enough for me to buy you around.
I will take 3, thank you. I'm going to negotiate on this. You can buy me 3 rounds.
Sold.
At least.
You want to go for 4?
Can you keep up?
I'm not Emery. I know how to drink.
True. None of us are. But, in his honor, we'll have at least 10 for him.
Hey, Cheekios, when's the last time you turned into a bull after a couple of shots?
He just looks back at you and smirks. Throws up his horns for you for a second.
Long road to get here. You're relatively quiet, Valas.
Valas is still gonna be standing over with Kiki, but he's just gonna kind of be looking down at his hands, which are just covered in blood from punching sand over and over again. Well, I don't know what there is to say.
Wow, really? That's it? I don't know what to say.
Well,
Man who always has some awful retort to come back here. The one who's a freaking god out of all of this. I don't know what to say. Wow.
His mouth is full of sand.
Apparently, so is his brain. I don't know what to say. Apparently, language
What
has
is there-
lost him.
what am I supposed to say? We just killed a god. The job's over. What are we supposed to? What are we supposed to do now?
Well, my guess is you probably should begin with an apology to someone because I believe you probably broke your promise.
He's gonna look around. I don't remember breaking any promises.
Kiki's gonna throw all of her rocks on the ground, just all of them. Kidding me? You promised me. She's gonna march right up to him, and she's gonna be like shorter than his knee when she's actually standing up next to him. She's gonna stand up right next to him and just like look straight up. You promised me you weren't going to die, and then you did.
Well,
She's gonna kick his shin. You.
God damn it! To be fair, you can only be mad about that at the end of the fight.
The end of the fight is now.
At the end of the fight, I'm alive, and so is Cheekios. Hey, they were dead
gonna
more
kick
than I
him again.
was.
You were wrong.
Damn it, quit kicking me.
You had promised me, and you broke your stupid promise, and you're a stupid pirate.
Well, you said you weren't gonna do anything stupid, and here you are, the queen of a fucking air castle or what the fuck
That's
ever.
not stupid. This is my space now. We're gonna stay here forever because then you can't die.
We're gonna stay here. We're gonna stay here forever
Yes,
in the clouds.
it's safe and it's mine.
He has a point.
I thought we were gonna retire to an island.
Well,
I mean, technically, this is an island.
yeah, it is an island.
You're not helping. Where are we supposed to get food up here?
I'm on her side, Valas.
I'm
How do
the
we know this
ruler
thing's
up
not gonna
here.
fall
I
out of the
can ask
sky?
them. I could find someone.
You act like your airship doesn't go between literal worlds at this point, Valis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that thing's kind of a loner.
What?
Never cease to amaze me.
You're a liar and I'm mad at you.
All right.
Got a
He's gonna look around at this air castle or the whole Colosseum and everywhere we've been. You really want to stay here?
Well, one apology.
Kiki, you're almost so loud that I can't even hear you. It's like it doesn't register. It's like a monkey whistle. Like you hit a whole nother level and I can't even hear it. There is rage in your voice.
I really want my apology. I just thought I deserved that. I got a promise and then the promise was broken and it's not fair.
Fine. I am sorry that I died.
No, you say it down here in my face.
He'll reluctantly get down on his knees,
You look at me eye to eye.
and he will. I am sorry that I died.
Do you mean it?
Of course I mean it.
Do you
Why would
promise?
why would I want to be dead?
Well, 'cause you are reckless.
Oh, you're one to talk. You have a demon inside of you.
That wasn't my fault. That's not fair.
Well, we shouldn't argue about things that neither one of us can change.
Fine. But you have to promise not to die again, okay?
Cheekios rolls his eyes.
Valas is gonna look around kind of over to Histor, and she goes like, "Can you help me out?" or something.
I look at you and go,
You have to promise.
I pick up one of her rocks and skip it across a couple of clouds with a big grin on my face.
She's gonna chase after it.
Valas
That's
will
one of her
still-
precious rocks. She has to go get it. Dang it. That's not fair.
He's still gonna be looking at Kiki.
She's gonna be
Really-
leaping across, chasing
You're
clouds.
really just gonna jump away?
She has to. That's
Okay.
one of her precious rocks.
I mean, she can
Fair
be
enough.
back pretty quick. It's just
Yeah.
Fair enough.
it's not I didn't throw this pigskin a quarter mile. I'm not Uncle Rico.
think of it this way: like when you throw, like your dog's sitting there, and you throw a ball, and they catch it real quick, and then they come back, and then they're serious again. Especially if you've got food.
Fine.
So she's gonna run, grab her rock with full excitement, and then put it down.
I haven't forgotten. You have to promise.
Listen, I'm not
Pinky
gonna.
promise. It's serious this time.
He'll take your pinky, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't promise you that I'm not going to die. Someday, I'm going to die. Hopefully it's as an old man. And hopefully not on this fucking cloud, but someday.
Cloud.
But I will promise that I will make my best effort not to die. As long as you promise not to pick up any more thrones or
What?
whatever.
But you're a god.
Only
I
one
didn't
kingdom at a time. That's the rule. That's it. One kingdom at a time. Or monkeydom, whatever the fuck you call it.
I haven't called it anything yet. I just got it.
Well, that'll be something for you to decide in the coming days, I guess.
You notice wherever she goes, he literally creates steps where there weren't ones before, where the rest of us still have to clearly make a deviated path. Kiki is essentially able to create her own stairs and clouds anywhere. May or may not know this yet.
This is unbelievable. He's a god and she has a freaking kingdom. Ah!
It's even worse,
How
Ruby.
did these two idiots beat me to this?
You think about this. Valas in the sea, Kiki in the air. That leaves what for the rest of us? Earth in between? We're all doomed.
I need a drink. I need a bottle. I need 5 bottles.
Cheekios, just lays one of the wineskins over your shoulder. It just like wraps over and just kind of rolls down into your fist.
Thank you. You look a mess right now.
You are a
Just gonna
mess.
start- Thanks. That was not helpful in comforting me.
You are a mess. He doesn't even let you get frustrated before you can even get the cap off. He's just gonna give you a big hug, and it's gonna be like one of those family ones. He's gonna try to just take you off your feet for a second and go for a spin. We are alive, Ruby Shore. Enjoy
I'm
it.
not a god yet.
Neither
There's still time, I guess.
is anyone else here, and we are better off for it.
Yes. All right. We can do the happy we're all alive party. That's true.
You still do not understand what you achieve.
Just want more.
There is nothing wrong with wanting more, Ruby Shore. But with time will come with affection.
Great.
And I think you
Well,
will
at
feel
least I'm
strongly
young.
about this day.
I'd like to end this day with food and drink. That would make it better.
We have friends. And that is their entire calling. You already have one who is taking care of the beverage. I'm sure that will be even more.
Good.
Hey, Ruby, you still got rat flute? You might be able to take care of your dinner.
I thought it might be nice to have something a little fancier. I could. Also, are there any rats up here? Like, are there rat cloud rats?
How time
rats?
and fighting gods has changed my Ruby Shore.
Ugh.
Live rats of the streets of Waterdeep are no longer mine.
I don't know if there's rats up here, but seeing as Kiki owns the place, I'm sure we can look for some food.
Listen, I do always enjoy a rat. Don't get me wrong, but after that,
They had to have
saying
some sort of feast for the wedding, right?
that's true.
There's some cloud possum.
I will eat that. I would love to eat that. I've not had that. I would love to eat that. Why are you laughing? I want it.
You can't see when they're there. You just see that gnarly pink tail hanging out every now and then from outcroppings of clouds. It kind of shakes like a beat up trash can every now and then. You think it's a rattle of thunder, but it's really just some cloud possums going to town in there.
I don't want to interrupt a going to town. I don't want to interrupt
They're
that
going to
part.
town in the trash can. They're not.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Sorry.
That's when you gotta get them. That's when they're most flavorful.
Like, I don't want to interrupt it.
You had no problem with the ogres.
You got some-
Don't kink shame, all right? Don't kink shame.
I'm not. I just don't want to be an active participant. Go to someone else.
And scene.
That's it. That's all, folks. No, it's just... Oh, that was great.
You guys are all able to make your way down to the arena proper. Now standing and looking down at this entire structure. Boots to stone. Where Emery's meteor storm saved your literal souls. Staring back out, the devastation of the battlefield now coming in, seeing the forces that are left, the triage that's happening. the wounded and the survivors. The pockets of celebration of different groups between the airy cloud giants, your own friends. In particular, you look back over Harshnag with one of the literal weapons pried from the dead hands of the Sultana, has a scimitar wedged in and literally raising it up, pouring beverages from casks that were meant from the wedding. I found the catering.
Finally, some good news.
What's your number?
My number was dead.
Your number. Come.
Where are my boys?
Drink with me. They're here. Get your curmudgeon ass over here.
It's just still gonna look around for his boys while he's walking over to Harshnag, kind of hat in hand. I see you lived.
Of course. Somebody's got to clean up around here.
Don't even want to know how many notches you got after today.
Yes, sir. You know, by this time, this shit is luck. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to be of purpose. I was gonna die. I'd probably say I would have died in that airship with them rookies. I got real close. Closer than I'd like. But your friend that I knew little of, that man with the stars, he saved me. He saved all of us up there. Yeah.
Old number 2 still had some juice left in the tank, huh?
Old number 2. I drink to his number 2.
Well then, since you've got the cask, pour the drinks. I'll drink with you right now. Our friend Emery. Number 2.
I wish he'd one more batch.
You know, somebody might have a skin of that somewhere. But I ain't going digging for it.
Probably finally tastes the way that he wanted it to be now.
Perfection achieved. It tastes like dog, just like you wanted it to, you son of a bitch.
Cheap shit, to be exact.
At least so he told us.
It's a good day.
It is a good day.
By the way, boys are over there. Little bonding time.
Good. Let him bond. Give me a chance to get drunk enough to go talk to him.
Some things never change. And I'm grateful for that.
You don't lose being an absolute father just because you die and help kill gods. All I can hope to do is be better. Right?
Don't let it go to your head. Don't shoot it already has.
Nah.
You'll end up like one of these stains. Oh God, I don't know if you've ever been that pixelated before for a second.
There he goes.
Oh God.
He's gone. He's gone.
I looked over and I was like, he's dematerializing.
I could draw a better Histor on paint.
He got real drunk real fast.
He became a dream, Chad. Wow. What else is everyone else doing?
Ruby,
You would see. Oh,
go for it.
You would not see Gale come down from the cloud top after the battle for some time. And when you do finally see him come down, he is just covered in sand. And then he just like with the steps, with each step just like floating kind of just above them, just slowly down. And then you see him just kind of like staring back up at it. And kind of keeps to himself. And you just see him thumbing behind his amulet. But he would stay away from the group for a bit.
Ruby's gonna see him, and she's going to bring her giant wine bag over and sat down just on the cloud next to him. You know, you look like you could use a drink.
Oh, could
Come on.
probably use a lot.
It'll make you feel better. That's how I'm coping with a lot of this. It's probably not healthy, but I'll deal with that tomorrow. Here.
Thank you. And he will like pick it up, but it's kind of heavy, so he's kind of clumsy with it. But then eventually takes like a big swig, and then just like gulps a
need
few
some help?
times.
Would you
No,
like
it's
some
fine.
help drinking?
It
No,
is okay.
here,
It's
let
just-
me help you. You're gonna get the big drink, you're going to drink a lot, all right? She's gonna hold it up, and you're gonna have to chug.
Is this like a keg stand? It's
Yes,
just like a
it is.
mini
It's
keg
like slap the
stand.
bag.
Yeah.
yeah. It's just like
We're doing
All right.
this, and we're serious about it, and you are going to enjoy this. Here we go.
okay.
While this forced booze is happening, sight for sore eyes of a very battle-worn Odaxis makes his way towards you, Gale.
I kind of forcefully like stop, and I'm just like no more, and it like spills over me or whatever, and then I like for the first time kind of like look down and see just the amount of like blood and sand and just like mess that I am, and I just kind of like stop for a second and then just kind of like take a deep breath. And I just kind of look at Ruby, if you would give me a moment.
Sure. You just
And,
relax, okay? I'll be over there with everyone else. Come get me when you want another drink.
And I would look at Odaxis and just kind of give him a smile, realizing that this idiot I told to stay away from the fight who charged in survived. And just tears in my eyes, and I would just like walk up to him and just give him a big hug.
You only give me a hug for giving you a chain?
What the fuck? Oh shit.
Okay.
You didn't see me
nice.
sneak him in.
Oh, I didn't.
I saw.
I I thought I told you to stay away.
Sometimes you just find out things. Like you trying to run off and save the world and sit in other gods' chairs all the time.
Well, that is one thing. I suppose I owe you more gratitude for what you did for Myra and for me.
There's nothing you owe me. You helped me find myself and find a new cause to believe in. Neverwinter is home again, and you caused that. Tormund, and Direct, and the whole crew. Even that little bald guy in his shiny head, Barley.
Who are you calling little OD? Maybe I am a little few inches shorter after this battle. Barley strolls up, slaps a hand on either of your shoulders.
You're a little thinner too, I think. Must be all of the running around.
I think it's how many times you got punched in the eyeball, Gale.
There's a lot.
It'll all be done after this feast anyway. As he gives the old uncle wink over to Odie while he's talking to you.
Will be a celebration.
The friends and family here and otherwhere.
Oh, there's Tormund! Get your ass over here! As there by the side, you can still see that they're comparing different levels of military moves and death strikes on what is left of these bodies that are down below.
What? I'm about to show dominance what I can do with this Lord of Rodley Might.
Put your rod back in your pants and come over here. There's people that are happy to see that you're alive.
This is bad as my old man. Hold on.
That can't be Tormund. There's not enough gut on that creature.
Holy Odie! You dirty son of a... How the you been? Oh, don't worry about the gut. I'll get it back. I mean, this is what happens when you spend a couple of years in a jail cell doing sit-ups, squats, push-ups, and eating a little bit of dried crotch rat.
Rat, yes, obviously. Did you ever finish the book?
Of course I finished the book. We had a little time to finish that book before Gale and I went over and saw, what's his name again? The guy with all the light, Talos. God, it's trying to turn into my dad. I can't remember. Thing.
It's called age. It happens.
Now I'm starting to understand that the longer you fight, the less you remember. But these are the moments right here. God damn, Odie, how did you wind up here?
Well, there's this. I just found some information about having to track down a shipment of weaponry to the Aarakocra, and of course that led to me finding out that Gale here was being stupid enough to try to go on one-man rescue you and everybody else.
He tried to get a note out to the rest, but didn't quite get there in time. But when it mattered,
a few years.
They cleared the pathway for the Nightcock, and that's what matters the most.
Someone had to look for your friend. And, you know, I kind of owed you guys from helping me finding my path, so I need to help you guys.
Last I remember, you helped us. And this is a debt I don't think we can repay. Anything you need, Odaxis. we'll put the Faust family send behind it. You point your finger. I'll make sure I'll make sure it gets taken care of.
Actually, I have something for you. And Odexus will reach down to his side and pick up his little light arm hammer and hand it to Tormund. I actually got this made for you while we were looking. This is yours.
Hey, what is this?
I call it my Faust full send. Don't worry, it'll guarantee come back to you when you think of it.
Are you sure you don't need this? I mean, I got a lot of stuff, man.
After the amount of bull I dealt with on this, I'm going home.
Where you should be with your family.
I know. Tormund, sometime come home to Neverwinter. You have a niece to meet.
Really?
Huh?
This requires celebration! I did not know.
It's been 2 years. We spent a long time looking for your sorry little scraggly butt. Obviously scraggly now, but...
A well-spoken person like yourself, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, you know, the books kind of show you how to do things nowadays.
Varlin leans over to Gale. We didn't miss anything. It was the potato years. That little one's just getting fun now. We timed this perfectly, Gale.
You know, I think you're right. I mean, I knew, but, you know, I had a few visits when I was in Neverwinter, but, you know, I just kind of sat there and just head kind of moved.
Sit around, you eat cake and pie, you look at the thing, and it itself, and you move on. It's weird.
And if either of you tell it about the mole rat, just know I know where you sleep.
Forever the mole rat. But don't worry, you're not getting home this quick. We got this catering to eat. Spoils of war. Nothing better than sticking it to Sansuri. I eat their food.
You really just put it that way? Really?
I'm petty.
Really?
Someone else has already paid for the catering bill. Might as well eat it.
I told you. It has been far too long since we enjoyed ourselves inside of a guild hall with proper food and beverage, and I plan on taking it from her if she was gonna take it all away from me. So you know what? Her honey baked ham, that shit's ours now.
We're gonna have to find a tomato garden to relieve the evening's festivities in, I do believe.
Just put it this way, I wouldn't drink out of a gauntlet that's up there. I wouldn't touch that thing with a 50-foot pole.
You know, you're supposed to eat it, right? You don't set it where somebody can drink it.
Suit yourself. Braden
That is
turns
so
back.
disgusting.
He goes back over to where Harshnag is currently pulling that scimitar up and down as a lever, filling up. People are pulling cups out of nowhere, whatever travel things that they have on them, anything that would literally hold liquid, people are refilling as slowly but surely the survivors of this day are pouring into this Colosseum.
Is this just a Colosseum, or is there anything else in the area, like any other structures that can be seen from outside of the?
Oh yeah, there are other towers. There are more residential areas. It's a sprawling complex with its different pieces suspended within cloud. You can never truly see all of the structure.
Valas is gonna put Kiki on his shoulder and so you own all of this now, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. That was easy.
You know? I mean, we didn't even have to pirate for it.
Well, I guess. Well, we kind of stole it. So that counts as
Well-
pirating. Just in the sky.
Is it stealing if they're dead?
Yes? Is this a trick question?
No, I just don't know the answer.
Oh. Yes. In my kingdom, it is. What was
What,
the question again? I forgot.
I don't know. What are you gonna call this place? It's yours now. You get to name it, right? That's how it works.
Rock.
You're gonna call it Rock.
Yes.
That's it. Just Rock.
Yeah. It's easy. Everyone can say it, and it's memorable, and I like rocks.
Well,
It's the rock in the sky. Everyone will love it.
yeah, I guess. Well, you are the queen, so
Do you not like it?
it doesn't matter what I like. You're in charge.
But I want to
Remember,
know
I told you.
your opinion.
I told you when we retired that you were gonna have to get a job to support us. So
Ugh.
you name it whatever you want.
You're a freeloader. That's okay. I'll take care of you.
As she calls him a freeloader, he's actually gonna pull up a chair and like plop down in it and put his feet up.
We should get some food and a drink. Do you want a drink?
Yes. Obviously, I want a drink, but are there servants? Do you have servants now?
I don't know. Let's find out. Can I get a drink, please?
2 cloud servants manifest themselves.
It worked. It worked.
As
Can
they
I get a drink, please? She's gonna ask them nicely.
nod and bow. The chest cavity actually opens up on the inside of this elemental. As you see, it begins to rain inside of this cloud chamber.
Is that water?
Look at it, it appears clear.
That's kind of yucky.
It smells like fresh rainwater.
She'll drink it.
Like a cat leaning over an open faucet.
So did these things bring us actual drinks too, or just raining in their chests?
Depends on what you tell them.
You should, Kiki, see if they've got. Do they have wine?
Sure. Do you want to have this body of water?
I want a glass of wine.
I'm just gonna awkwardly hold.
Can you get me some wine, please?
One of the cloud servants that is not being drank from promptly begins to float down and leave and head towards someplace inside the keep.
Oh, good. We're not gonna eat its body. Do you want it? I don't want this. It's weird.
It's just
No,
water.
I
Just
eat it.
throw it out.
But it's weird. I just throw it out as part of his body. I wouldn't like throw his arm out.
Put it back in. What are you? What do you just put it back in?
No, I can't just give it back to him. It was a gift.
It's just water. Just put it back in.
Just take it.
She's gonna pour it in his pocket.
As it does, it literally it empties itself of its actual moisture, and the cloud just dissipates.
I don't know what to do with it.
I think maybe just don't touch them when they're raining.
Okay.
The one that you sent off has quickly returned with 2 large carafes of wine.
Can I get one of those too? Can we make sure everyone here gets one?
The carafe is actually as big as you are, Kiki.
Perfect. We're gonna need at least 3 more.
Cheekios. Cheekios, look at this. You seeing this shit? It's a cloud wine.
seeing,
Cloud
this,
wine.
You want some?
seeing this line, this procession of cloud elementals that keep forming and trailing up to the spot that they're at and just bringing stuff out. I want. he begins. At first, it's a slow step into like a mild jog into. I've never had cloud wine before.
You can have some. Just let me know, and I'll always ask for more. Wonder, will they bring anything else? Do you want anything
Are we
else?
really? We're drinking that sons of bitches wine.
Yes.
It's
Well,
just
now
gonna
it's
go to.
mine. So it's the. I'm not a son of a bitch, but I'm the no, just Kiki's wine.
Gives you a pat on your head. This is going on. All I can think of is what it would be like to be the few that reached the eagle's nest in World War II. To drink that sons of bitches spoils. I don't care if this is the worst wine on the planet. It will be the best tonight. But it's good. Oh yeah, it is. It is a wine of fantastic, borderline wondrous quality. Oh, this is dangerous.
Wine for everyone.
She's gonna turn to the air elemental.
Please just make sure my friends get everything that they want and we just keep them drinking. And if you could bring me a rock, that would be great.
The procession, almost a conveyor belt of random requests, continues through the afternoon of things that these elementals keep fetching. There's not a single person. Some that actually need medical treatment receive large hoddles of wine before they even get there. You can see soldiers and Airy, just some of them more wine stained than blood stained by the time they get through. You've fostered this entire community of these cloud elementals that are taking care of any possible request, as now that they must listen to everyone and fetch anything of need, as that is the command of the master of the keep.
If everyone can have wine, can they all have a rock too for me?
Oh my god.
If you could hear an audible sigh, if it were to be made from a cloud, that is what you would hear. But you don't. It just bows and continues to fetch whatever you can possibly think of that could be held inside of this keep.
Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't overdo it. We have to live here now.
Well, what do we need then? We can all live here. It'll be fantastic. Right?
Oh. He's
We're
gonna
all
look over
gonna
at everybody.
stay here, right? In my kingdom?
I think some of our friends have unfinished business elsewhere.
Gale just kind of gives Kiki a nod. Sorry, I would love to stay, but there are things I still have to do. Little one.
Well, what do you have to do?
I am missing a very special rock that I must find for myself. And well, I have to go to a city which needs direction and guidance. People there that need help.
You can do that after the weekend's done. Because your presence and governing over whatever is left here that is now apparently the rock will garner your attention, Gale Everstorm, and then you can make your way.
I want to give you a special rock.
She's gonna pull one that's actually been in her pocket.
This one I called Priscilla, and I was saving it because she's really pretty. But I thought if you have a very important rock that you have to find, that sometimes really pretty rocks are fun to collect. And if you find that rock, it might like another friendly rock. And so you can give your special rock Priscilla.
And she's gonna hold it up. Small offering.
Gale will kind of like crouch down and almost get eye level. This may be the greatest gift I have ever received. And I can assure you, I hope that's Lokor willing. One day, you can meet my rock, for she is the most beautiful thing in the world. I think you would quite like her.
Fantastic. And then you all can live here too, and then we'll have all the best rocks in the world here. In the rock.
In the rock.
At the rock. B-rock. B-rock? At
I think it's on the rock.
on the rock. I'm
You know, I
working on
think-
the name still.
I think you might have surpassed me. And I taught you a trick. But, I can't do this. Pointing to all of the elementals and things.
Oh,
This is quite impressive.
they're my new friends. I haven't named them all yet because I can't think of that many names yet. But I'm working on that many names. I have at least 2 names.
Well, give it some time. It will come to you, I'm sure. Have Valas help you. I heard he's very patient.
Dallas! Get a piece of paper! We have to write these down!
What? Why the fuck would I have paper?
The minute that you say that, an air elemental shows up with a scroll and quill.
There it is. That will preoccupy Kiki for a hot minute. She's gonna create like a small little pedestal that she now sits in just with her thinking face on, just brainstorming names for all the air elementals. I don't even know how many there are.
Each time
don't
that
make
you
me name all
do,
of them.
they just manifest a small servant style collar that goes across them that you can see.
Perfect.
Fast forward 10 years from now when the air elementals are having an uprising against Kiki.
At least we'll be able to identify the leader because they'll have a name.
That's air, and that's airy, and that's heiress, and that's heiressy. Just like
That
just
might
keeps
not be
going.
the worst idea I've ever heard.
Dominus walks past this, just looks down at what's happening and just shakes his head and even gets a small smile. As it's the complete opposite of anything that's ever happened here before, a place that he spent a good chunk of his life in such a hatred-filled place. it's quite fitting that now its pet names pinned to manifestation of air elementals. Makes his way past all the way back over to his old man.
No, pour me one more.
Make it 2.
Dominus. There you are. Make it 6. He needs to catch up.
Good to see your battle math is still on.
Well, I've had whatever Harshnag is pouring, so if I pour 1 for myself and 5 for you, that equals exactly what I want to drink right now.
It's weird. Seeing something play out that you hope for as a child. When you grow up, the son of a soldier, you dream that day that you'll get to enjoy the spoils some. But you'll come in drunk as a wake up the whole house because you want to make an omelet. Because what you did that day mattered. We're well overdue for making that omelet, old man.
Sister sets his drink down. Boy, there ain't nothing more than I want to do right now than make an omelet with you.
First
Hey,
rule,
right now.
don't tell Tormund. As he coughs, as he's laughing, as it's something he's done much in his life.
I'll tell you right now, your fat burger, he can definitely cook a good meal. You're missing out. Might be a pretty an omelet, but you know what? If it's going to be you and me, I'm okay with that.
We'll let him in after the first one's done.
Yeah, we'll eat the burnt one and he'll get the good one. Typical. Just like hanging out with your mom all the time. Always eating that good.
Just the mention of her makes him clam up a little bit still. It's not that he shows any signs of that he can't handle it. It's just more when she's mentioned that it's a respect thing. He just kind of soaks up the scenery.
She would have loved this. It's everything I ever wanted. You know, your mom, she just wanted to see us all together. All of us Faust under one roof. Happy and loud, eating your cooking. It's all she ever dreamed of. You know,
Next
Dominus,
everyone here will have that chance.
yeah. You just kind of jumped exactly where I was going to take a long roundabout way to get to. But yeah, thanks to what everybody has done here, we're going to have a chance to do that. goddamn proud of you boys. I'll tell you right now, having been dead once today, I saw that far-off plane with a smile on my face, knowing that you and Tormund were together. Because if I couldn't do it, I knew you, both of you, could. But Diract has taught both of you what you've learned from your trials. I would have been happy leaving this world. To each of you.
Tough shit. You get a second chance. As he slams into your armor and presses in a pin. You look down at it as his hand pulls away. It's an emblem of the Phoenix.
Son of a bitch.
Never stop getting up.
Never stop caring about what matters. That old son of a bitch always had a perfect perspective on everything. That's a life debt that I don't know if I can ever pay. But I thank him for giving me back my boys. Because without his sacrifice, none of us would be here.
He lives
Right here. If anywhere.
He will always live. Thomas is just going to slam over the top of your shoulder pads. Refill his beverage and kind of make a beeline. Not where anyone else is at, still just kind of soaking up the scene.
Sister gets into the drink. Where do I find someplace I can make an omelet?
There's one of those hot plate stations that's over by the side. You can see people are half disgusted as the Aries are watching these eggs being cracked.
Gale would he probably over a bit of time would see Dominus kind of go off on his own, and he'd give him a bit of space, a bit of time, but eventually would go up to him. And when he gets up there, he's just gonna like kind of hit the side of his shoulder on his armor. You know, I think green and gold looks pretty good on you.
Just as good as orange and black.
How do you feel?
Still just staring. Kind of straight ahead. Really want to know? Guilty.
Then that is something we have in common.
As he takes a pull of his beverage, still staring forward and talking to you, and just kind of hands it over to the side.
I take it and stare forward with him.
There's a lot to take in at once. I I haven't had nearly as much time as others have had accepting who I am. That will take some time. But second chances are something that I believe in. Okor. Direct. Yourself. The Phoenix. These are things that I can wake up to. And I don't feel nearly as dreadful about myself as when I go to sleep. Maybe time will change. Mellow that feeling. For now, it's a badge, and I'll wear it. But I won't let it infect the others around me.
Then do me a favor. Just one. You believe in second chances, new beginnings. That's important. You'll need to hold on to that. And every night, when you lie down, no matter where it is, and you feel the darkness creep in, just remember that with the morning, every morning that you wake is a new beginning with the sun, the phoenix, the storm. You can never be lost in the darkness. This darkness cannot prevail over the light.
She's gonna turn and look at you for the first time. Oh no, you can. You can, Gale Everstorm. It takes people like you. Gorman. My father. To be that light. Gonna take that
And-
beverage back and stare forward again.
I would take a swig and then hand it back and then just spend like 5 minutes, just no words, and just stare with him.
Looking out at sunset over the top of the realms. It's a hell of a scene to drink to. Cheekios is going to go find Valas. Not transcribing for a moment.
Sneaking away.
Just to see whatever's in your hand, whatever you're drinking at the moment.
Just a goblet of wine.
Whatever you drink off, he just tops off. Doesn't even say anything. Just refills the glass.
You're just gonna stand here all night filling my glass? I'm not mad about having a wine boy here, but you know.
This may be my last chance to try to kill you. And I intend to try this to the fullest.
Well, bigger motherfuckers than you have tried. And you've tried. You all failed.
Technically, I succeeded.
Yeah, technically they all succeeded. Didn't stick though.
Just gonna stare back at you awkwardly for about 3 seconds. This shit-eating grin. Thank you, Valas Tuorg.
For what?
We all owe you our lives today. Thank you. Thank you for a chance to be with my friends. Thank you for the adventures that we have had. Thank you for pushing me forward. It is a time of reflection, Valas. And it does not sit lightly with me. For these are the stories that I will tell before I pass out into a bowl of mixed nuts somewhere in the Fae. Telling the youth that do not want to hear it. The legend of my friend Valas Tuorg. The man who cheats death.
As you're saying all this, I'm kind of also making kind of eye contact with Histor and Ruby and trying to kind of like beckon them over for a second. And as you know, if everybody gathers around, as you finish that statement, I'm going to pull off my Alunith blade, and he's gonna hand it to you, and he's gonna say, if you're gonna talk about me, you're gonna need proof, because no one's gonna believe this shit.
No.
He's gonna hand you the Alunith blade.
You son of a...
Just take it. I'm not gonna need it anymore. And he's gonna look back kind of over at Kiki, and besides, I made a promise.
I guess this thing is rightfully mine anyway.
Well, hopefully you get better use out of it than I did.
I promise that I won't. But it will help tell the tale.
Well, if anything else, maybe it'll get you laid. It's a cool looking sword.
Knowing you, it probably doesn't have anything else left in it now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so sure about that. And as Histor and Ruby come, and I don't, you guys can overhear this. I'm talking loud enough, but I'm gonna look at Histor. Well, I assume you'll be moving on too.
You know me. We're gonna take the family back to Gadcaster.
No, I mean, you're welcome to stay here, but I doubt hanging out in a cloud in the sky is your ideal setting. But
Not a bad view, but still got even Fortuna at home.
What does the Faust family home look like? I'm curious.
Ruby Shore. It's an absolute hole at the bottom of the spires.
Wow, you're really selling that right now, aren't you?
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you, cat. I never have.
Real fancy, huh?
wherever
Even
you,
a field general's got to live somewhere. My house is no place to call the glory of a cloud coliseum. But I'll tell you right now, I've had 4 wonderful kids, a beautiful wife, and a family I can call my own. All there. Nothing nothing will stop me from sharing that with them right now. When we're done here, that's where I'm headed.
Well, it sounds lovely.
Wherever you end up, I assume you're gonna take those two with you.
Hmm.
Well, if they go, we'll see.
Well,
Definitely.
I don't have a cool sword to give you, but maybe you could get some use out of this.
Valas, I don't want your shit.
I'm tossing you a potion of longevity.
Oh.
Maybe you could spend a little extra time, because for some reason I find myself giving a shit about your family.
Damn.
Just do what I think it does.
Well, it does a couple of things. You'll have to roll the dice on it.
It needs more time with my family. Shit, I've come this far. It's worth rolling the dice on.
You realize, Valas, that there's going to be like 18 more of them now if you live that long.
There's
Well.
so many.
The good news is I'll be in a fucking cloud and it won't be my problem. He's gonna look over at Ruby next. Ruby,
What does this like? You being nice for once?
you have a
Oh, no.
pirate's heart. So I assume you like gold.
Yes.
He's gonna take off a ring, a good big gold ring, and toss it to you and give you a ring of spell turning.
And what does this trinket you're giving me?
Well, you like to bounce back spells a lot, so maybe that'll help. I'm sure you're gonna find yourself in plenty of more trouble,
Well,
and I don't
that's
have a
not
use
my
for
fault. What is causing you to be so generous?
it. I don't know if I'm generous. I'm tired, and now I can rest. I don't have any use for this stuff, and maybe you guys can find a way to make it useful. Besides, if I don't help you out, you'll probably all die.
Don't forget, I was dead before you helped out.
Yeah, I've been there. It sucks.
Couple of times, if I remember it correctly.
Yeah, well, you know, some were worse than others. I remember vaguely something about having my leg ripped off. That was pretty bad.
Never forgive myself for letting that Goblin King go for your sorry ass.
Whatever happened to that asshole, anyways?
Blown up.
Blown up. By what?
It's a long story. Get some more wine and maybe I'll tell it to you.
That's a fair
Alright.
deal then.
Roll a perception check.
Everybody?
Mhm.
Oh.
Histor's easy. I mean, it's just flat. He sees what he sees. It's 11.
Cool. 15.
Good God.
Chance.
Oh, of course. Of course.
You can't stop it. You can only hope to contain it.
Freaking monster.
Get out of here. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like the group. Oh, I'll roll.
I really just wanted to see if you'd roll the 1.
Yeah. I thought it was gonna be a 4, and I was like, all right. Like I said, didn't need to roll, but instead 23.
Mudcat, you hone in on this moment with the rest of the group. You can see Alistar sitting up at the top of the Coliseum by herself.
Oh,
Just staring off into that sunset. Doesn't look like they may have even moved from their spot.
He's just gonna kind of nudge Cheekios and point. You think someone should go talk to her?
Yeah. I do. Cheekios is going to leave the circle to head up that way. He's going to make sure to refill his beverage. As he takes his time making those steps up past the rubble, the burn marks of a meteor crash, armaments of the Efreet that are now disembodied from the legion they were connected to. Still 30 or 40 feet away. Just gonna kind of pause to himself, collect his own thoughts. Take a small sip of his beverage. Jesus, what do I even say? This is horrible. I will do my best. Shakes off his own anxieties. Makes that last trek towards Alistar. Still sitting there, Cheekios can tell that she's a mild state of shock still. Just gonna sit down next to his friend. I will not lie to you. I do not have the words, the acumen to express how I feel for you in this situation, what we ask of you. I want you to know that and the rest of the group we love you, Alistar. I think that is the most appropriate thing to say in a time like this. He's gonna offer one of his wineskins. I thought it would be easier. Cheekios. I thought all that time in the Fae compartmentalized hate, what she had become and what she tried to make me. I thought that hate would stay. I thought that I could hold on to that, and that she wouldn't make me feel anything. And when I did, I saw glimpses of her. My own mind. Thinking of the times that we had when she was a mother. And even though the plan didn't work, just happened so quick. Tears didn't even hit the ground. I do not blame my friends for how she died. She deserved her reward. I am sad for the times that we could have had. Times that she denied us. Times that we should have sat out and I could have told her what it was like to learn and train inside the Fae. She took those times. Not my friends. That's what I'm sorry about. She turns back, looks back over at Cheekios. I love you too, Cheekios, and the rest of the group. My lease on life is because of you. You could have killed me that day, but you didn't. You took the child of a monster. You took them to exile, and you gave them a home. Sansuri is yet one of my mothers, but not all. And I look forward to seeing the Queen again. Do you think that she will come? I do not know. She is independent. She will make that choice herself. But I would ask. Would ask. As Alistar wipes away those tears. Come. Join the others. Maybe you'll get an answer yourself. She just kind of nods her head. Wipes them away. Cheekios Druid crafting a few flowers and prestidigitation away. Some of those battle rewards. Stop it. I'm not a child. Tough shit, you will always be my child. Go. There's more wine. It's not going to drink itself. As they begin to head down those stone steps back towards the rest of the group.
I think at this point Gale would finally find Tormund. You just bring over like a goblet of wine. You know, Tormund, I don't know where these keep coming from, but they just keep coming, and I don't understand it. But
No, watch.
here's
Dude, the clouds bring it. Here, watch. As he takes the drink he has in his hand and... I'm finished!
so I'm like
It
holding
res-
both drinks and like extending one, and then I just like I'm like, do I just takes a sip. It's just like, I guess I'm carrying two now. What is your what is your plan?
Plan? I mean, plan. Gil, you
No,
think any of this was ever planned?
No, I mean, what are you going to do after the weekend? You know, what are you going to do next week?
I don't know. Kind of a lot open to me right now. You know, I figure I might swing by Fandolin and see if Harbin Wester's still got that 500 gold he owes me. I can't imagine, after all we've done, that they didn't get a little bit of relief.
Oh, I made sure, and I talked to Adaxis, and he got it done.
Then I definitely have a debt to cash in on. Plus, there's a guild hall there, you know how much I like those. And, I don't know. I gotta catch up with, my brother, my dad, my sisters. I gotta catch up with you. And I spent a lot of time in prison. We haven't had a lot of time to talk about everything we've been through.
No time,
I think-
actually, none.
Huh? I think I've been lost on that. Ever since you sprung me out of that hellhole, it's literally been one fight after another. I think you and I, we do a little hunting. In fact, I know if a certain game strung up in a tree somewhere out in the forest outside that, do they call it? Is it New Hope now? What do they call that city?
It is it's still Neverwinter, but there's a new district and some new coloring banners. It's a different place.
Well, pretty sure that forest is still full of game. Should probably go hunting, you and me. Maybe we'll find a Thunderboar.
I hope not. I wanted to there was a moment in the fight, for the briefest of seconds, where I'm pretty sure I saw her, or the piece of her. And I made the reaction, and then the storm picked up. And the next thing I know, I'm being resurrected. And I spent a long time up there afterwards, combing through the sand. I couldn't find her. So I still have a hunt to go on. I know she's out there somewhere. But I know we had made the promise, or at least you made the promise to me. And I have one request of you. You owe me a trip back to Neverwinter to speak with the powers that be now. And you need to meet Edith and Meredith, Odaxis' family. And Luther is owed a dinner. And there is a place I want to show you. And then after that, you promised to show me Gancaster. I would very much like to see your home too.
Nothing in this world would bring me more happiness than showing you my home and fulfilling a promise that I set out with you before any of this went down. Gale, I promised that no matter what, we would find Myra together. And that's exactly what we're gonna do.
I'm just gonna give him a big hug.
You pull him in. He wraps those big arms around you. Gives you just a little bit of that rage flex as he squeezes you in close. Family, Gale Everstorm. Don't forget that.
Never.
My old man went to the ends of the worlds for me. I was the same for you.
Now, I think, as I kind of look back around the group, I think that perhaps you should pull out the good stuff from the basket. Little extra juju, as you could say. That good butter and cream. This is supposed to be a celebration, after all.
If I do that, I got a feeling Brayden Barley is gonna kick my ass. Because he's been talking about this feast for a while. Wait, hold on. Well, I am getting hungry over here. I guess I better dip into this basket and get some of this bread and butter.
Barley, who's been standing around the keg with the scimitar for some time right now. They're only thinking about getting into the basket without me. You know, you can just dig in there. Orsnag, it's about time that we taught that one some respect. I think I've had just enough beards to go over there and whip that boy's ass. What do you think? I think you need to have another beer, Barley. He's gonna kick the out of you. He doesn't have any of that baby fat on him anymore. He's been eating crotch rat. What he's talking about?
He's talking about keeping a petrified rat between the...
I am good with hearing about the rat stories.
All right. Suit yourself, but he's gonna kick your ass.
Barley goes over there. And just what do you think you're doing? Butter and cream. Trying to reach the land of milk and honey without me. We'll see how it is.
Actually, I was counting on you coming over here. That was a little bit of a bait, my friend. Yeah, we're looking for a little celebration, looking for a little feast, and I knew you couldn't resist.
Well, consider me debated.
It's all right. If you want to cook, I'll help you. It's been a while since I've been in the kitchen.
I think it's time I teach you a final lesson. Dorman, there's always a false bottom to a false bottom. As he reaches in and pulls out the single barrel distilled grains of Shantae. You only reach for the tears in the days that are worth it. Today is certainly worth it. It is a caramelized delight of just the right amount of sweetness to barley. It is a fantastic sipping whiskey, a golden butterscotch color that leaves you understanding that it's meant to be savored over times of celebration with good company.
Oh, wait, that was in there the whole time? Really? The whole time that was in there? A false bottom to a false bottom, you shifty motherfucker!
Barley doesn't say anything as he walks away with a big smile on his face.
Tormund, you should see if there is a false bottom to the false bottom to the false bottom.
Shut up. Here. From everything that's happened, you get the first drink. It smells heavenly, by the way.
It takes a sip. Does like this, the smells, does the swirl. Takes a sip. This is... Holy shit. This may be the best wine I've ever had, or whiskey I've ever had.
Well, go ahead, drink it. Quit standing on ceremony, because I want to try some.
Oh no, it is meant to be savored. You do not rush things like this, Tormund. Did you not learn anything from the one shitty dinner with my... Never mind.
I tried to take my shoes off, and there was no way that was going to happen. Just put it that way. That's what I remember from your dinner.
Just because I want to see this, pinky out. Slow sip. Inhale. Breathe it in. As you sip, you want the full notes and full flavors. Come on.
Wait, are you really trying to tell me how to taste something, you pretentious prat? As he does a tall pour into his glass, swirls it around and looks at the legs on it. Gets the full bouquet. Dips his nose in and takes a sip.
Right when he does, I shocking grasp him and then walk away.
Oh! Odds or evens?
Me?
Yes.
No, I have fucking odds. It's gonna be a 1.
Takes the shock in stride. I was really gonna break it on my nose if you hit odds. Just used to the torment, he takes the shock and just sips it. Oh yeah.
And I walk away.
Son of a bitch! You can't try that! Get your ass over here! The hell? Hey, Dad! Get your ass over here! I want you to try some of this nonsense! If my no good brother's around, bring him too! The hell is he talking about? Boy, shut up! I'm drinking with your Uncle Harsnag.
He's proud of whatever he found.
Yeah, it's probably some more of that rat that he was been eating. Hey, Dad, look what I found. It's seasoned rat. It's got oregano and tarragon on it.
I'm sure there's plenty of disgusting things that you were proud of when you were his age. So indulge him. Go.
All right,
some whiskey for both of us before I drink it all.
Dominus! Dominus! Come have something with me and your brother.
Looks back at you. Not much different than when a family calls for pictures.
That's exactly what it is. It's the picture call at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But it being a foreign yet new feeling, he makes his way over.
All right, boy, what have you got? Just shut up and here, take some of this. As he pours some in Histor's glass and he pours some in Dominus's glass. Seems our friend Braden Barley's got a couple of tricks still up his sleeves. A false bottom to a false bottom. I want you to grab your glass. And I don't give a shit if you enjoy it or not. But it's been a long, hard-fought road since Gangcaster. For all of us. Dad, I know why you left. Dominus, we've spoke. But here we are. Three of us together. Our unique journeys have joined at this moment right here. Our choices have divided us. Fate has brought us together. And by Morden, Bahamut, whoever you want to pray to, we have all come to this moment. We've met friends along the way. We've made family here and there. No one could have ever predicted this outcome here, where we would all be gathered around in celebration, killing gods. But here we are, celebrating these moments in life, friendship and family, and blurring the lines in between. That is what we will drink to with Braden Barley's whatever this is. And I drink it with the two of you and promise that blood is thicker than water, it's thicker than booze, lies and deceit. Blood is eternal. Blood is forever. To family. Boy, I've made some shitty speeches in my day. That's probably one of the best ones I've ever heard. the family.
Dominus looks awkwardly at both of you. At least he can't go pinkies out. And he slams the whiskey as he looks at the finger that he cut off of yours and awkwardly walks away.
Real funny, Dominus! Real funny. God, I love being a Faust.
About that time, the processions of individuals back on Skybreaker begin to arrive as you see it coasting in to dock with several other ships and cloud castles as they gather around. The forces of allies begin to descend on this celebration. I told you there was never a doubt in my goddamn mind. The voice of Lord Roaringhorn piercing throughout the crowd as these individuals begin to spill into the Coliseum. I will let you guys take your restroom break and refill your beverage. We'll be back in just a second, everyone. Choo-choo, all aboard the end of a 2-year campaign fields train. Choo-choo. The break won't last long. Glad you guys are enjoying it.
I'll say right now, this is cathartic AF after 2 campaigns of getting our actual pushed in.
Does feel nice. It's fun to get to play out those scenes, man. You don't know what they're going to be like until they happen, and then they're just perfect.
So the best way I can describe this is if you've seen Cobra Kai on Netflix, you get these interweaving story points that come in over seasons. 'Cause literally, I watched the last 3 seasons over the last 5 to 7 days, and it's like, oh, I see where that came in. It's just like everything has started to coalesce in this one celebration.
Well, much like D&D and not expecting things, I did not expect Chosen to be part.
Oh, what an amazing point that was. I literally
So
jumped out of
good.
my chair when that happened. I was like, yes, I know that guy.
I never thought about those other movies that hard before in my life. And I was like, you know what? It's the first time I may actually consider going back and watching them.
I'm going to go back and watch 3 just because I haven't seen it in 20 years. And I want to re-experience that. Cause when he said
every bit of 20 years. Yeah.
Oh baby, go get yours. I got Adam here. I got backup. Don't worry about it.
I have returned. This is my show now.
The Dominus
Time to kill Valas.
Happy fun hour.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but I am.
It's because it makes me I mean, you hang around with the Faust family long enough, you're going to start to talk like this. You understand that? I mean, but Dad, don't talk about me. I'm reeling.
Yeah, soon I'm gonna be talking like this.
It's gonna be like percolating.
At some point, your biggest problem is: are you talking like Dad? Are you talking like his son?
I did not know. Mine is very good. Perhaps I could add some glove to it.
I can't even do Gale doing Tormund right now. That's the
problem. No, absolutely not. No, I can just barely do this. This is as best as I get. I don't know what you mean. It's just like it's so difficult.
Sounds like a troll out of one of the Borat movies. I don't even know what you mean.
Very nice, very nice. It's just like, what? Yikes.
Good God.
Gale Eastwood. You feel lucky, punk? Do you?
Well, I was talking to Captain about how this is the culmination of just like one end of show. This is like the culmination of two end of shows, because there is so much that's gone on between Tormund's quest that has joined up with Game of Saving Throws and kind of gone on from that point.
No.
It's like we have literally we haven't had that victory moment where we can all just celebrate together and forever, because the last time we had anything that was somewhat close to this is just before we lit into Talos's palace.
Yeah, we had like one moment, I think, and that was brief. It was like, yeah, it's been nonstop. So, getting to take the breaks a little bit.
Just nice to play out and experience, how we all feel about the moments we've had since then.
I mean, Valas was kind of nice. That's weird.
I mean, Valas gave something that could make Histor younger and more,
It could also make you older, or it could make you 13 years old.
Oh my God, a 13-year-old Histor Faust.
Well, I think it's minimum of 13. Reduced by a minimum of 13 years.
To a minimum of 13 years.
But it could also age you by 1d6 plus 6.
I mean, then he's just like Hyjul. He's just like sitting around. When are they going to bring me my tapioca pudding?
Well, I mean, Valas he's done. He's done. He said, said that many times that when this was over, he was done.
Well, I mean, the most interesting dichotomy is that, you've got Valas in the sea and you've got Kiki in the air now. I mean, you have two of the major planes taken care of. And no, Kel, he did not get Ivan back. As far as I know, Ivan is still somewhere out in the plane of fire. He's a hell pony now.
Yeah, but does Valas go back to the sea, or does he stay in the air with Kiki?
I mean, he's gonna go where Kiki's at, and she wants to stay. He's gonna stay
for a while. So they're done.
Not his ideal setting. He's gonna, but he's retired. He's done.
Hell yeah.
He punched a god to death, and that's it. Done.
Poor Kiki. When I was like, I'm gonna have to go, and she was just like, no, and I'm like,
her magical
I was gonna stay for the festivities. I was gonna stay for the festivities. I mean, I am staying for the festivities,
because there's a limbo competition later.
Have you seen my decks? Have you seen my decks?
What? It's not great. This will be the one you roll a nat 20 on. Guarantee it.
Gale just starts floating in the air right above the ground, just I
already rolled that nat 20 tonight, so I don't feel like we should roll anymore.
I mean, you definitely capped it with that right there.
I feel like it's I can't roll anymore.
Well, I gotta roll a 1 at some point, so
Good point.
My oh my, look at all the heroes we have today. Just like we rode it up. As Lord Roaringhorn arrives to your social circle that's all been picking apart this catering You gotta be kidding me.
Well, if it hasn't been our benefactor this entire time. Glad you were able to make it up here, yeah?
Better late than never. But
That's
this,
true.
this will not do.
What? We've got food, we've got drink. Is that not enough?
Not for a celebration like this.
That's what I was hoping you would say.
As
Give
he
us
bends
more.
down and bows with a smile. Well, we couldn't just handle it in-house. We had to bring in the big guns. And just what do you think you're doing over here, Sorok? It's like you haven't learned anything. You've been cooking here commercially for years, and you still don't know what you're doing.
Oh boy.
Oh man, these are memories. I'm going to dip out.
Just get your ass over here, cat.
No, these are yours. They're yours. They like you. They
They're as
don't
much
like
my
me.
family as they are yours. You were here with me when we were doing.
Well, I'm not really. Ugh. Yay.
Look at all here. Oh my god. Is that Ruby Short? Is that his son over there? The one, the dragonborn that looks too lean to stand
Yeah.
on his own 2 feet?
You should focus on feeding him a lot of food. He's starving. He hasn't eaten in like years.
Hagrid, you try and feed that boy, you will go broke with food. I mean, I'm drinking the Lord's whiskey right now, Dad.
Come here. I hear you're the prisoner one right now. You come with me. And she's going to pull on your ear literally away from that keg. Oh, and Ruby Short, I didn't forget. Sorok is bringing it out right now. And thanks to you and the entire area, there is a raw bar the size of a school bus.
Oh my God.
Yes.
It looks like the calm before the storm at a Mongolian grill. Like it's just laid out between seafood, creatures of the land already, shrimp that are
Finally.
peeled but not cooked.
Thank you, you beautiful angel of a woman. She's gonna like grab her face and kiss her real hard. Like, you're fantastic. Thank you. I'm going to be very busy and spending all my time there. Thank you. And she's just going to gorge out, finally, uncooked food. That is what Ruby has been waiting for. Yes.
Sorok rolling that out also with one of the longest pie carts that has ever been known to man. I'm trying my best over here, Miss Magrin. I'm sorry.
Sirach, you're still letting that old lady boss you around, huh?
Well, if it isn't Mr. Histor.
You look well.
Look down. He no longer has a peg leg.
So, sort of, what's the magic to take care of that?
Oh, I just regrew it.
Don't lie to me. Come on, I convinced a goddamn dragon to drop your happy ass. How did you get the leg back?
You know, Histor, you should know by now. Ah, never mind.
You should know that I never forgot about you.
I did. Ruby's
Thoughts?
going to mutter as she's stuffing her face.
Thoughts of torture run through your head.
Oh, by the way, Sirach.
Yes,
Save
Mr.
some-
Histor!
See, reaches under his armor. You can see him wince as he's trying to pull this out. You basically told me to go yourself the first time I handed this to you. But being a father who had my own reservations, I held on to it. This has stayed close to my heart through many battles. It's the ashes of your parents, Rock. I told you if you denied them, I was going to scatter them to the wind. I couldn't. I'll offer them to you one more time. To do with what you will before I offer them to Bahamut.
Persuasion check with advantage.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. $28? You got 20. No, it's gonna be 28.
You know what, Mr. Histor? There's been a lot of time since we had that conversation. A lot of time. He's going to take him from your hands.
Zrock is a father who's made some mistakes. Actually, it's a father who's made a lot of mistakes.
Mr. Histor, it's not any of your business to apologize for my family. And you'll do no
It is.
such. No. But I appreciate you nonetheless. And time does change things. So he will take that urn from you, put it on his catering cart, take a deep breath and straighten his apron. Thank you, Mr. Histor.
Zrock. Thank you. As he grabs him by the back of the head and pulls it to his and whispers, don't worry. It's with Bahamut be blessed. If you don't speak my language.
I guess it wouldn't be a normal day if you didn't do something very strange and weird, Mr. Histor. Now, thank you. as he pushes his cart forward.
I mean, yeah. Oh, cool, man. Thanks.
It's the most history thing of all time. So creepy. Don't worry, I'm sure the more Histor drinks, the more idioms that you'll get. Like frothy, heavy draconic in your ear.
You never know what you might happen upon when you drink with the old Dragonborn.
As that literal feast continue to be brought out. Folks packing around the sides. Nightcock making his rounds. Making sure that everyone gets a hug.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of long moments, just forehead to forehead. Conveying his message in the best way that he can. Several times, individuals offering their magic to allow telepathic connection, him shaking them off in each attempt. Lot to take in. But you feel him convey those emotions that you didn't forget about him. And that he still and has always loved each and every one of the group. Even when he knew he had to leave. Several tears had by all. As he makes his rounds. Anyone else doing anything in particular before the feast begins to dwindle down?
After talking to Histor and Ruby and Cheekios and having a few drinks and wandering around, Valas will he'll make his way back to Kiki, where I assume she's still writing down names of elementals or something.
She's actually fallen asleep.
Okay,
It turns out it's writing down air elemental names as much like counting sheep.
Well, then seeing she's in a food coma, he will he will as he walks to her, he's actually going to take off his coat and the rest of his swords and all of his daggers and weapons he's got hidden on his body and just throw them on the ground as he makes his way to pick up Kiki to go and take her to bed just in plain clothing.
It's got a little snore going on.
Yeah, he just puts her on his shoulder, where she's just like draped over his shoulder.
Her tail just twitches a little bit.
Oh. Too much pie and too many elementals.
Yeah, probably. a little overwhelmed for a very busy day.
He just picks her up and walks away, unburdened.
Cheekios is going to look for Ruby.
She will be sadly eating at the raw bar. Just kind of eating her feelings at this point. Have you come to say goodbye as well, like everybody else?
No. No, I haven't.
It seems like everybody else has got their home and their retirement or something else. I don't know. Somewhere to be.
I don't bring any of that.
So, what are you going to do?
I have an idea.
What's that?
But it all depends. Depends on what you want to do.
Me?
Yes, you.
I've got nowhere to be. I'll probably just go back to stealing potatoes of some other...
You are not going back to stealing potatoes. We have bigger potatoes.
Does the Fae have bigger potatoes?
It has the biggest potatoes.
Do they? Is that our next adventure then?
What if I were to tell you that you could train to be that warrior queen of the Fae that you have always wanted to be?
She's going to sit up a little straighter now. I'm sorry, what? What are you talking about?
Alistar is going to make her way over to both of you now. Ruby, come with us to the Sealy Court. You talked about how you've wanted to become something bigger than what you are, but you don't want to settle down. This is it. Come train with me. Live to see new adventures another day. To hone your craft. To not become stale and dull. Not to retire and languish and grow fat and old, but to continue to run. Adventure.
Well, you certainly know how to speak my language. I got to tell you that much. There's got to be a catch, right? What, do I have to carry everybody's bags over there to the Fae or something? Bring me on as like the official rat catcher of the palace or something? I can do that, actually. I'd be very good at that plan, but...
No. Ruby, I want you to look into this. And she's going to produce a single maple leaf.
Oh, you found me a leaf. Thank you. She's gonna look at Cheekios like, is this like a traditional gift or something?
Just take it.
I love leaves. Thank you.
The minute that you touch this leaf, blink and open your eyes, and you are no longer standing atop this cloud castle. So you are the one that wishes to become the warrior queen of the Fae.
Not wishes, I will be.
As you're standing inside of a court of pure twilight, autumn and fall colors mixed with summer greens, as a faceless woman with long blonde to golden hair steps forward with a cloak of those same maple leaves, all intertwined almost like a chainmail. Well, if this is something that you want, shouldn't you try to take it?
Is that possible with you?
Nothing is given, Ruby Shore. These things are only earned.
That is what I'd like to hear. I will earn my right.
And
Yes.
so mote it be. I will see you soon, warrior
What
of the
is-
Fae.
Oh, wait. What is your name?
As she turns around, making her way back up those steps that she had just walked down. Stopping slowly, turn back around for a second. Tatiana, before you're faded back in to your reality.
She's going to hand the maple leaf back. Well, it seems that I have a new heading. A title I have to officially claim and earn. Mind if I travel with you?
We would love to have you, to be short. But your journey is only just beginning.
So many more stories ahead.
This world was never fit for someone of your zeal. You were made for worlds.
You know, I'm going to have to get you to write that down for me sometime because nobody has complimented me like you have. Honestly.
You were also meant to kick ass.
Well, I have, but thank you.
We have so much more to do. And things to see.
Much more than this world.
Indeed.
It can't handle us here. Surely we'll see how long the Fae can withstand us.
Cheekios just gives you a big hug. Here I've been worried all day about asking you.
What? Did you think that I would go decide to live by a river by myself or something? Of course I want something different. What else was I going to do? Did you really think I was going to steal potatoes again?
We'll be sure that I have learned over a lifetime now that it is your decision. And I make sure to phrase things just as such. The last thing I wanted to do was make it sound like I was pressuring you to go to the Fae.
You're a smart friend. I can tell. You know, you clearly lived a lifetime or 3 or 4 or however old you are, but it has certainly given you a lot of wisdom.
Many years younger than you.
That's
Big
right.
smile on his face.
I'll be the old, mature one of the group. Clearly.
I am very interested to see how the Fae will mature you.
No, that's where you're wrong. I will be the one who changes the Fae.
Indeed.
Thank you, Cheekios.
You are welcome, Ruby.
There are many ways to die. And the slow fading of my story is not what I wanted, so this is a good option.
Not today.
Not today.
And when we come and visit, we can make fun of how old everyone else has gotten.
Older that Histor has gotten, specifically.
How are we supposed to? I thought there would be at some point in time where we wouldn't have to hear this shit anymore. Now that he has it, it's going to last forever.
It's going to last forever. Do you want to take bets on how many new children he'll have by the time we come back?
I will enjoy every second
Ugh.
of hearing how much this is the one. But you know what would be even better? Is hearing his son bitch about his new snap bomb. I live for these moments.
But you know, whoever it is, great cook, obviously.
Cheekios looks to make sure that Magdarin is okay. He's short of breath just for a minute because he remembers and he knows that Histor's been drinking heavily today. He breathes a sigh of relief as you can see that she's still giving Sirach an earful. Oh, thank God. Thank all of the gods. About that time.
Where's everybody going to f***ing bed already? God. Kill a god and everybody wants... Well, everybody wants to go to bed early.
Harsnag's that guy that you're still friends with, but you really hope that he doesn't walk forwards to you in the party anymore. You've looped past the same story 3 times now at this point.
I took those rookies on my back and I knew if I didn't cut that thing's head off, we were never even gonna have a chance. That's why I threw my axe. How else was I ever gonna use that sword?
Uh-huh.
He stands there talking for so long that he doesn't realize when the rest of you actually leave.
Yep.
Sorry.
I literally looked. I was like, "Do I have the silence spell?" Nope. Okay. I literally was like, "Do I have this? Because that would be great." I'm like,
away.
"Yeah." It's just, God.
He can't catch you if you keep misty stepping.
Yeah. You do it 3 times, he's gonna spin and then throw up. It's just,
Anyone else doing anything as night sets in? As you all go to claim different parts of now the newly named rock.
Sorry.
It's perfect.
Dirac stumbling away, mumbling about how it's winners that go home and the prom queen.
Wait, is that Director Braden? Who's been drinking at this party?
Everyone.
It had to be said after it was named the rock.
Yes.
You guys all claim your own little spot, which the feast has now made easier for you to catch some well-deserved rest. I want you all to roll a d20.
My record here.
I will take your record.
Oh, damn.
Oh shit!
Old man sleeps light.
all right, you all rolled well, so that means
Here comes that one.
that's not what I wanted to do.
How is that thing tucked into our logo?
It's probably because I'm zoomed out a little bit on.
Oh wow. It's gonna be no.
It's like
If
on
you
the,
look
it's
at
like
it
on
the
the edge
screen,
of the. It's like on the edge of the screen, like
Oh,
at the
yeah,
very
it
top.
is.
Yeah, so it looks like it tucked underneath. I was like, I don't have that as a
Kind of
layer.
adorable.
I'm gonna call that one a nat 20 for the placement.
We still got it, guys. Don't worry.
That's a plus 5 for the placement.
Everyone's rolling hot, but good old Gale.
You don't need it.
Eh,
Eh.
eh. I think I have a lucky. Wait, do I have a lucky? Hold on. I'm not gonna need it, so fuck it. It's like, do I have a lucky? I do. I'll re-roll. Yeah, it's a 10. It's better. It's halfway to good.
That's way to good.
Histor. Well, you have indeed had enough, probably for several men at this point. It's that moment as you lay down to fall asleep where the threads of reality and dream are at their shortest. in and out of consciousness, recanting the events, both good and bad. Realizing just how close you were to death. At one point in time, reliving that moment going down in the sands. Your back hitting it. And this feeling of not being able to get up. A paralysis. Sinking into those sands. Over and over again. Seems like you almost wake up every 30 minutes. You don't know if it's a dream. You don't know if it's real. Each time that you hit that sand. Till it hits one of the many. You sit up. Literally your body completely underneath and buried. Raising up and out of it. This time, you stare into the sands of Gancaster. You're home. And it's at that moment she realized you're coming back. But the longer that you look at it, the more it seems to deteriorate. With each blink, destruction. Fire. Carnage. And as you relive this moment through what feels like 1,000 deaths, you wake up inside that room, inside the rock, short of breath and a cold sweat, still working off what you consumed. But you look down to your chest and you see that scar. And it's back. And then you open up your eyes. Looking down at your chest. Everything is fine. You're fine. This is just that war kicking in. It's just the war kicking in. And then you look up over. Dominus is standing inside that room, just looking from the doorway.
Just doing awake, boy.
No response.
Dominus. What do you see?
Just a cold darkness in his eyes.
Histor tries to push himself out of bed.
You try to move. You pull yourself back up out of the sand again. No longer in your room, back in Gancaster. This time, as you sit up inside the sand, it's full. Armies around you, like ants on the side of a hill. Black Dragonborn as far as the eye can see. A Gancaster on fire. This time as you raise, you still begin to sink, even though you sit up. As you watch your city on fire before you're pulled back down under the sands again. Opening your eyes back up in the room. Cold sweat. No Dominus standing there. Just you in your room.
I look down at the scar. What do I see?
It's not there.
It's just a fight, Histor. Just a fight. Shake it off.
Is anyone else up moving around in the middle of the night?
I mean, Valas doesn't have to sleep.
What are you up to, Valas?
No, honestly, I'll probably meditate for a little while, get the rest, but I think early after that, early morning, probably with the new sense of almost freedom, probably going to be out on the cloud looking down at the horizon, looking for the ocean.
And just like Sarah Palin from the rock, you can see it.
The ocean from my house.
I was not ready for that one. Nope.
I stand this kind of humor. Thank you.
Wow.
I'm a connoisseur of poorly timed dad jokes.
That's
Gail. It's a rough night of sleep. For yourself as well. One where you keep replaying over and over again that moment. That moment of hesitation when you took your eyes off of that flower. It's just you in that desert walking through the sands. You look up and you see the flower on the horizon every time you look towards it. But the minute that you blink or look away, it's gone. And you end up having to go into another direction. Constantly too far away. Sometimes running at full speed when your eyes are locked onto it. But just the minute that you break concentration, you fail. Dropping down even to your knees at one point inside these sands. Voices of doubt creeping into your head.
Probably not gonna save her just like you couldn't save me. You had your chance, Gale. But you hesitated. I wish somebody would have even hesitated for me. Hell, nobody even tried.
I tried. I tried, you son of a bitch. But you were too stubborn to let me help or let anyone in.
It looks like you hesitated twice when it mattered the most. You can't teach that. Something you're just born with. I guess you'll never find her.
It's not fair. I'm doing everything I can.
Not all stories have happy endings, Gale. Mine didn't. Yours probably won't.
Shut up. I'm gonna get up and just keep going.
is a long night of searching and self-doubt, but you persevere through that. Waking up the next day, you guys hear the sounds of trumpets, military formations, as those armies begin to prepare themselves to go back home. And it dawns on you that you have to figure out what home is for you. Smell of breakfast pours out. Very hungover Harshnag with a fresh apron. With an equally hungover Braden Barley. Getting wrist spooned by Miss Magdalene each time that they try to take something off the griddle. Ah, it's quick with that thing. Ugh.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect it to hurt as much as it did. It's like she found a pressure point. God.
There are plenty of mouths here to feed, and it doesn't need to go all into yours. And if you find that Dragonborn boy, let me know. I've got a special double stack of buckwheat pancakes staring him in the eye. Two sticks of butter over the top. You can see that one is wedged in between.
Joe looks rough and very tired. Probably just sips his coffee, alone, contemplating, kind of in his own head.
Who made the coffee this morning? I need a cup.
You look back. There's Sirach with a paddle.
Oh, a what?
He's got a full boat paddle over near this contraption that he's created that's somewhat a mixture between a French press. I'm working with what I got over here. Oh.
Ain't gonna be good as Direx Trail coffee, but I'll drink it.
What's this breakfast table look like?
There aren't tables. There's just shit strewn about. It's wherever you can grab a seat.
As breakfast is starting and being served around, and what kind of food is there?
Bacon, eggs, sausage, omelets. Standard.
Valas is gonna pick up a big thing of eggs, and he's gonna look around and kind of look over towards Histor and Cheekios, and whoever he sees it kind of recognizes. And you know, we fought together and we've spent a lot of nights together, and shared a lot of moments, but I think it's about time you got the fuck out of our house. And he's gonna hand the dish over to Kiki.
Hey.
Go ahead.
She's gonna take the whole thing, raise it above her head, and just throw it as hard as possible towards Cheekios.
And Valas is gonna take handfuls of it may be the first time you've ever seen him smile. He's gonna grab a handful of jelly and chuck it at Histor's face.
Oh no! Miss Madrid just got her hands on her hips, but it's too far gone as the retaliation at this point. Oh, is that just how it is going to be? I immediately pick up one of the cartons of milk and just begin shaking it.
That's super nasty.
Just trying to throw as much liquid as he has. He's gonna pick up one of the flapjacks and literally dip it in syrup and try to throw it as a disc to smack Gale in the face.
Gale would like probably get hit and just be like, "What the?" And then he'd like take his coffee and he'd like, and he would swab. You just pick up like some sausages. Dormant.
The hell are you throwing that at me for, you son of a bitch? Oh, this is how it's gonna be. I'm eyeing the table for the gravy of the hollandaise sauce. I'm gonna take off with my flying boots and I'm just gonna start raining it over the table.
I throw my bubble up.
Full circle.
Dominus cracking a smile for once as all this goes down, but not really quite comprehending the playful nature. He reaches in and he's grabbing full oranges and he is just absolutely throwing as hard as he can. There's people, ow! It just random. He pelts 5 or 6 soldiers with this just absolute knocking the out of people.
God, yeah.
Histor will step in. Whoa, easy, boy. You didn't spend much time around an army latrine. You haven't spent in an army mess hall. Let me tell you, you're not out to kill. This is all for fun. As he takes some of the jelly from off of his face and just smears it across Dominus's.
He looks at you and he picks up a pineapple and he hits you as hard as he can with it. It shears off a quarter side of it. It's slow-mo. You can feel the piece of it pinch into your skin before it shears off and slides across the griddle where Harshnag's at. He flips it.
Don't put that on any pizza, you savage. Still not exactly the right response, but we're working on it. We're having fun.
Ruby is taking a watermelon and she is going to crush it on top of Histor.
Oh my god.
Krister's getting the shit kicked out of him by fruit.
This was really the nightmare that I had last night. Let's just be honest with each other. Pineapple and a melon, and I haven't even had my coffee yet. Oh, and the jelly.
Oh, it's nice. She goes, he picks up some of the watermelon that's fallen off your face. It's good, it doesn't even need salt. This is nice.
Ruby Store, do me a favor.
What?
Grab my son another watermelon.
And put it on his head too?
No. Get him a watermelon.
She'll find the biggest one she can. What do I do with it now?
Give it to Dominus.
She'll hand it over. Fine. Less.
All right. Here you go. Right here, baby boy. Get me.
He holds the watermelon in one hand
Tradition.
and he throws a whole grapefruit at your sack.
I think you got it. I think you got it. I think you got it.
As he cracks open the watermelon with his two hands. I haven't had watermelon in ages. Oh, Braden looks over with big eyes as he sees him take a huge chunk out of it. Well, that was one of them that we spiked from last night. As he pours himself another mimosa. Don't mind if I do. As that camera zooms out over the top of this epic sized food fight. Over the top of the rock. I find it no better place for us to end this session than there.
Yeah. Whew.
I was just thinking 96 episodes. We haven't had any food fights yet.
That's true.
Perfect time.
The closest we got to a food fight is you smearing mashed potatoes all over Randy's face.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
We will pick up
ridiculous.
much, much later in time. Next week. How much later depends all on the characters, what they decide that they've been up to. We'll find out then. With lots of folks still with things to do on their lists and things to live out, we will pick back up with our story then. But until next week, you can catch us for Sands of Gancaster tomorrow evening with a community involved. An adventure that they don't even know because I haven't given them the preface yet. As they work the Meals on Wheels stand for Miss Magdrin. Psych! No.
Hard at work.
We'll see what they get themselves into. Much love, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week.